Okay, well, the most important thing to say to you all, wherever you are, is welcome. Welcome to psychology. You're in one of the oldest psychology departments in the UK. Psychology was founded in 1906, so we're about 114 years old now. And this on the slide is one of the original adverts for the courses that you could take in psychology. You could see the various fees in pounds, shillings, and pence for elementary and advanced psychology. Advanced psychology obviously cost a little bit more. 114 years later, we're one of the top 20 psychology departments in the world. You can see our lovely building in the top left, and inside the building on the bottom right. So I don't know what's flashing, but something's flashing according to someone. So you can see inside the building on the bottom right. So hopefully you can get some idea of what's going on in psychology. We have world-leading research in psychology, and this is a challenging degree. I'll make no bones about it, but it's also hopefully a rewarding degree for you. I'm getting flummoxed by recording now. I'm just going to answer a question from Yutong straight away. Yes, there will be a recorded version of this talk. We started recording a minute ago, so it should be available online later. And I'm sorry if people are having internet problems. Okay, so here is Psychology's home in 7 George Square. I thoroughly recommend you take a walk past the building if you're in Edinburgh. At the moment, there's not very much going on in that building because, of course, we're in a pandemic situation at the moment. And during the pandemic, our offices aren't in this building. Our offices look more like this. This is the office that I'm talking to you from at the moment. And I have various other colleagues online who are talking to you from similar offices all across Edinburgh. And I thought the best thing to do at this point would be to introduce some of them to you so that they can say hello and tell you a little bit about their roles in your first year in psychology. So I'm going to start with Pete Lamont. Pete, if you wouldn't mind turning on your video and microphone and saying hello. And I will stop sharing so that you can actually see Pete.
I hope you can see me. For those of you who can see me on a very small screen, this is no longer Martin. This is a different person, a different guy with a beard. I'm going to speak in a Scottish accent, so that's clear. I'm the course organizer for Psychology 1A, which starts next week. I'm also the course organizer for Psychology 1B, but that doesn't work. It doesn't start until next semester. So I'll be putting out a welcome video after this to give you information about the course. But if you do have any questions about Psychology 1A, feel free to ask and we shall answer as many as we can. I think the next person to meet is Hannah. Hannah, are you there?
I am here. Hi. I'm just giving it a moment. Welcome. It's great to sort of see all of your little avatars in my sidebar. My name's Hannah. I am the teaching coordinator for Psychology 1A and 1B. I'm basically in charge of all small group teaching. So that's mostly the labs and tutorials. But you'll be hearing from me on a regular basis. I'll be sending you lots and lots of weekly announcements from within Learn to keep you on track, to let you know what you should be studying and what you should be thinking about each week. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know some of you. I think it's over to Tom.
And hopefully I've now appeared. Hi everyone, my name's Tom Booth. I am the undergraduate teaching director, so I kind of have an oversight of all of the undergrad courses. You will also see me in your data analysis for psychology classes, for those of you taking that, or hear me at least. So yeah, that will be me. I believe back to Martin.
Okay, and I'm just going to say hello so that you can see my face and find a way of sharing the slides again. So 1 second, I've just got to press a few buttons. And if we're lucky, we should be back where we were. Okay, so back in my home office. one of the things we've been doing in our offices all across Edinburgh is preparing the course, and the course is going to be a lot of stuff is going to be online this semester because of the situation the world finds itself in and the situation we find ourselves in Edinburgh. A lot of hard work has gone into this, and let me tell you a little bit about how it'll work, because I know that some of you are already concerned about not getting timetables and other things that you might expect if we were teaching in classrooms. So essentially what's going to happen is that for the various courses that we offer, we will release weekly bundles of work. So that might be a recorded lecture, that might be some information about what to do yourself, and that might be some information about when the tutorials are, and those will be in first year live, so that you'll go online and speak to your tutor live. But that's really going to be a fairly small amount of timetabled activity on a weekly basis. Instead, there's going to be a lot of activity online for you to do in your own time, such as watch lectures and interact with the various tasks that we've set up for you. And that's partly because we need to deal with the fact that some of you are in very different time zones from each other, so it would be very hard to find times that we could bring everyone together online. And that's partly to deal with the fact that technology is not always reliable, and we don't want to rely on live sessions that people might not be able to access. And so by having a good mix of pre-recorded and live activities for you, we hope that everyone will be able to engage with the course. One other thing to say about that, which is that if you are not currently able to be with us in Edinburgh, we understand the world's in a very difficult position this year. But we have designed the course such that everything that you need to engage with the course, to learn to be a psychologist and to pass the assessments, is available for you online. If you are in Edinburgh, as you may know, the government rulings changed last week about how many people can gather, and so we're waiting for an update from the government on how many people we can gather for different purposes. But we hope to come up with some activities in Edinburgh to bring people together whenever it's possible. One thing I would also say is please keep talking to us. We have done a lot of work to try and make this the best course we can, but not everything is going to be perfect. If you don't feed back to us and help us make the best course we can possibly make, then it will be the poorer for it. So, you know, we want to hear from you about what we're doing well. Hopefully we're doing some of this well, but also about where there's room for improvement. And where we can, we'll tweak things to make it the best experience it can be for you. Okay, so you will have already been, many of you, to a welcome from Professor Holly Brannigan, the head of school, yesterday. And psychology is one part of a school of philosophy, psychology, and language sciences. So psychology is it's quite an unusual combination, but I think a very strong combination in the UK context, where we bring together people interested in linguistics and people interested in philosophy, and those are the core disciplines of something called cognitive science. And so two degrees that are relevant here are the psychology degree that you can see at the bottom of the slide and the cognitive science degree at the right-hand side of the slide. The cognitive science degree is brought together under the PPLS banner, and PPLS is a name that you'll hear quite a lot because a lot of the stuff that we do is done through the School of Philosophy, Psychology and Language Sciences. But in the end, if you're doing a psychology degree, you're a member of the psychology department, and the psychology department is the department that normally lives in 7 George Square, that is currently scattered throughout Edinburgh. If you're doing a psychology degree, the course structure looks a little bit like this. I'm not going to go into the operational details of selecting courses. There's a huge amount of information online, especially at the undergraduate hub. But essentially, if you're doing a straightforward psychology degree, then about half of your courses each year are courses that belong to the psychology program. So in year 1, psychologies 1A, 1B, and dapR 1, our methods course, take up about half of your time. Those other slots are for you to fill with outside courses following the advice online, and if need be, in consultation with your tutor. If you're doing joint honours, then depending on the particular combinations of courses that you're taking, you may not be doing dapR 1 in year 1. You could still take it as an optional course, and I think everyone on this call would recommend strongly that you consider taking it as an optional course to make sure that dapR 2 in year 2 isn't too difficult. But what you absolutely have to take, and what we're really going to talk about for most of the rest of this talk, is the Psychology 1 and Psychology 2 syllabus, so the core psychology syllabus. And in those courses, some things that you won't be doing are reading minds. Some things that you won't be doing are sitting around discussing other people's problems. You probably will be doing those, but not under our tutelage as part of a psychology course. And quite often people think that we can influence other people's behavior, but we can't influence other people's behavior. Instead, what I want to try and persuade you is that the basic areas of psychology are really exciting, really interesting, and something well worth engaging with. I just saw someone, because texts are flashing up all the time, I just saw someone saying, I wish it was easy to explain to people that I'm not reading their mind. Well, you know, I'm trying now. Let's see if you believe me. Okay, so the biological, cognitive, developmental, individual differences, and social areas of psychology. Some of you will know that these, together with conceptual issues in psychology, are the areas mandated by the BPS for a BPS accredited degree, such as ours. And I thought I'd pick out a couple of examples just to give you a flavor of the kinds of things that you might encounter in the first year of psychology. So let's start with neurons, okay? And I want to talk about the neurons involved in vision, and in particular, I want to tell you that the neurons that detect different colors in your visual system fire and then stop firing at slightly different rates. And if I put the appropriate colors next to each other, then I can show you a static image which will give you the illusion of motion. Now, this works particularly if you let your eyes rove across the image, and hopefully if you're looking at this on a big enough screen, it'll work. This is a totally static image of a snake, but because of the ways that your visual system responds to different colors, in particular the contrast between blue and black and between yellow and white, if you let your eyes rove across the image, these snakes should look as though they're rotating. Okay, it's a totally static image. The best way to convince yourself that it's static is to fixate on one point, try not to move your eyes at all, and things should stop moving so much. I'm making myself slightly dizzy talking at this, so I'm going to move on quite quickly. Okay, I want to show you another thing that perhaps is an example of the types of things that you might learn in Psychology 1, and that's to do with language, this case. And it's not surprising that I pick an example from language, partly because that's my research area, and partly because, as I explained earlier, we're part of a school with a large constituency of linguists. So I want to give you an example from language, which is a very simple example of something that you may never have considered, which is that when you listen to speech, you're actually listening as much with your eyes as with your ears. That is, you're integrating information that comes to you orally and also through your eyes. So I'm just going to pause this for a second if I can. Oops, and go back. What I want you to do, I can't pause it. What I want you to do is to look at one side and listen, and then to the other side and listen. Now, the sound isn't changing, but if you look at one mouth and then the other mouth, what you will experience is hearing a different sound. So let's try that, and let's see if you can hear different sounds depending on whether you look at the right or the left.
Bar, 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 bar.
Okay, so this effect, called the McGurk effect, is a very easy demonstration of how important lip movements are when you're understanding language. And of course, in the context where lots of people are wearing face masks, explains some of the difficulties we may have of understanding each other, during the pandemic. Okay, I'm going to show you one more example, and this is quite a famous example, so don't be surprised if you've seen it before. And what I want to show you is that even basic cognitive activity, such as counting, can be difficult. So I'm going to show you a game of basketball. There are two teams passing balls to each other in this video. And what I'd like you to do is attempt to count the number of times that the team in white pass the ball to each other. Okay, it's not as easy as it seems. So pay close attention to the video and let's see if you can count how many times the white team pass the ball to each other. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so some of you, thank you, 14, and somebody, Phoebe, is saying, I know this video. A lot of people are saying 14, and Valtteri has just typed 16 and a gorilla. So without flooding the chat, please don't flood the chat because we won't see your questions. I am fairly certain that a number of you didn't see the gorilla. And the gorilla, you might not notice because I told you that the task was about counting ball passes. And even though your retina had access to all of the visual information that was impinging on it, your mind was interpreting that information in terms of the task I gave you, which was not, I hope, to look out for gorillas. Now, if you knew that the task included a gorilla because you've seen this before, then it's not surprising that you saw it. And of course, some of you may have seen it by chance. However, those of you who knew the video may not have seen the other change that I also borrowed into this video. And so let's just go back and watch the whole thing again. Here we are going backwards. So going forwards. Here's the gorilla walking in. Can you all see the gorilla now? But notice also, and if I reload this page, I can probably show you again. Okay, notice also that the curtains started off red and ended up orange. Okay, so if you know that the video includes a gorilla and your mind is telling you that the video is about a gorilla and you're looking out for the gorilla, there's still a fairly high chance that you won't spot the additional color change. Okay, I want to talk about one more area of psychology, and that's so-called individual differences. And to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a bunch of questions on the screen very quickly, and I'm going to ask you to note down how many of these you agree with. You don't need to think about them very long. To make it easy for you, the maximum score is going to be 12, the minimum score is going to be 0, and I'm just going to leave it on the screen, let you read through them and come up with your own score. Okay? Sorry, the maximum score is going to be 10 and the minimum score is going to be 0. So we'll just leave those on screen for a second. About 15 more seconds. Okay. And Chantal, I hope you're ready with the poll. Okay, so everyone should have noted down a score. And what I would like you to do then is locate your star sign on this slide here. So if you're on the left-hand column, I've put the dates up because, of course, not all cultures share the Westerners' obsession with the zodiac. I don't know if this would work for blood types or for years of birth, but it occasionally works for star signs. So I've put the dates up. So locate your birthday and work out whether your star sign is on the left-hand side of the screen or the right-hand side of the screen. And then Chantal, if you could put the poll up. What I'd like you to do is respond to this. Okay, so if you're on the left-hand side of the screen and you scored 6 or less, then you answer the top bar. If you're on the left-hand side of the screen, you scored 7 or more, so on and so on and so on. Okay. Okay. We're still waiting for a few people to respond. I'm going to give it another 15 seconds or so. All right. Okay, let's have a look at the responses. I'm sorry if your response hasn't been recorded yet. And what you can see here is that more people score 6 or less than score 7 or more. So if you scored 6 or less on a personality metric, you're more outgoing, more gregarious than if you score 7 or more, according to this questionnaire. The typical terms that are used are extroversion and introversion, although really what we just mean is kind of outgoingness versus, you know, people who are more happy with their own company on the right. What sometimes happens, but which clearly hasn't happened now, and that's the danger of doing live presentations, whether they be online or in a classroom, is that people whose star signs are on the right side of the screen show more introverted responses, so they're more likely to score 7 or more than people whose responses are on the left side of the screen. Nobody really knows why this is, but one thing that they do know is that this tends to happen more for people who actually believe in astrology. So hopefully what I've demonstrated in this particular little demonstration is that none of you really believe in astrology, which is a good thing because astrology, of course, isn't very scientific. And therefore, the proportions of you who are more outgoing or who are more introverted were roughly the same across the groups of star signs that we chose. Okay, I saw a little bit of chat flashing by whilst I was talking to you earlier about the programming language R, or data analysis for psychology using R, the dapR acronym you can see here. That's a very big part of psychology. So yes, as psychologists, we need to be able to extrapolate from the particular, that is what we know about sets of people that we've observed, to the more general, that is what we might be able to infer about the populations that those sets of people belong to. And the way we do that is using statistical methods. And the most modern way currently of doing statistical methods that there is using a programming language called R. It's gaining huge traction across the world. It's much more popular now than SPSS and other programming languages, statistical systems you may have heard of, and we're very proud of teaching it on our course. But I'm going to be honest, it's not going to be the easiest ride. So you're going to have to pay attention to the methods courses. And that was why earlier on, as I was just getting into my stride, I was recommending that even if you don't have to do dapR 1 on some courses, I suggest that you take it, because this is foundational training and it's very useful to you almost whatever walk of life you later go into, to understand quantitative methods well. Here's a little look at the R programming language, just to give you an idea. When I say it's going to be a little challenging, it's going to be a little challenging. This is a screenshot. dapR is a name for a data analysis course, Meda. This is a screenshot of an experiment that didn't work, that I was analyzing. But my God, we're going to teach you well. Don't worry if it looks scary. It's just a little warning that there's some learning to do. But what did you come for university for, if not to learn? Okay, enough about scary things. I realize that we're not going to see each other in person very much, and that's a real shame. But I very much hope that those of you who are in Edinburgh are going to enjoy the city. It's a fantastic city to walk around. The centre, this is a photo I took of the centre a few weeks ago, is amazing. There's loads and loads to see. And if you venture further afield, you can go to the beach, you can find ski slopes in hills, you can find medieval villages with thatched roofs, or you can find hidden villages in valleys with old mills. So please do wander around Edinburgh, have a look, enjoy being here, and we'll see you very soon if you're in Edinburgh. If you're not in Edinburgh yet, then don't miss out. And I've put a link on this slide where there's a whole bunch of virtual tours of Edinburgh City ready for you to explore, so that you can get a feeling for the city that you're hopefully soon going to travel to. So I'm going to wish you a great year. I know this is a different year, and that for some of us it'll be a challenging year, but I hope it's going to be a good year, and I hope that we're going to have loads and loads of fun learning together online or in person, and that you're going to enjoy being in Edinburgh virtually or physically, and that things will work out well for all of us this year as we get ready, hopefully, for a return to more normality as time goes on. I'm going to pause now just to take stock of all of the questions that have built up. So I don't know quite how we're going to flag questions to each other, but let me have a look and see what's there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fling through questions very quickly, and things that I think are now answered I will not dwell on, but let me just see how many I can answer. I should also say I can't see the moderator chat and the everyone chat at the same time, but if anyone wants to join in and just answer some questions, I'm starting with when do we get our timetables, which was at 12:14 from Sophie. So Sophie, they're coming out very soon. We're just working out the last details. They should be there soon. But as I said in the talk, there's not going to be a huge amount of detail in them other than tutorials. We've talked a little bit about how Psychology 1 will be done this term, and there's information online about the exact structure of the course. So if we couldn't attend the live sessions, what's the best way we could contact our tutors? Well, they're all on email. That's the first place I'd start. But if you go to the undergraduate hub, then you should be able to find contact details for your tutors. Are we meeting our personal tutors? Okay, Pete has answered all of these. Fantastic, thank you, Pete. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over to Julie Pedersen, who is the president this year of Psychology Society, and she can tell you a little bit about that, and I can have a little look through the questions so you don't just hear me reading and erring to myself. And if there are any questions that we haven't answered, I will put the answers in the chat. Okay, so thank you very much for all of your attention. I'm sorry that it had to be online and it had to be like this, but hopefully you've got some idea of what you're looking forward to this year, and I look forward to seeing you all again online or in person soon. So over to Julie.
I hope you can all see me now. Hi everyone, my name is Julie, and as Martin said, I'm going to be president the Psychology Society this year. So the Psychology Society is separate from the Department of Psychology. We're a student society run by students, and we're trying to give you all a little bit more psychology than what you can get through your course. We have some academic related events such as talks from some of our lecturers and the research that they're doing. We're also trying to set up some discussion groups specifically for you guys for first years and second years who want to try to use some of the knowledge that they've gained. And we do some workshops as well. We also have some more informal socializing events where you can get to know your fellow students and other enthusiasts. We do some pub quizzes, some casual socializing, online bingo, online board game nights. Obviously, everything this year is going to be online, or most of it. We were trying to plan a few in-person events, but given the new restrictions, we're quite down on our luck in trying to get you guys to meet in person. So for now, we're planning for everything to be online. If restrictions change by the end of semester 2, we will have an end of semester dinner as we usually do, and we'll have an end of year dance with the rest of the PPLS societies. We also have we've also tried to set up some extra support networks for you guys this year. So we're setting up academic families for you guys to engage and learn from students who have been on the psychology degree for a longer time, so that you can learn something from them and ask them for support. There will be more on that in a session that we're having next week. You can find more on that on our Facebook page. And being a member of the Psychology Society this semester is going to be completely free because of all of the COVID restrictions. You can go to our user page, which I think my secretary will post in the chat. You can go to our user page and you can purchase that membership for free. And once you've purchased that, you'll also become a part of our newsletter and you'll get that every week so you can be updated on what we're doing. This evening we have a meet and greet session for you new students to meet each other in tall breakout rooms. It's 7 p.m. on Zoom. You should sign up through our Facebook page, but if you come to that, you can get to know each other very well. Yeah, so I think, no, that's not on screen anymore, but we have our Facebook tag is psychsoc.ed. So if you find us on Facebook, you'll find the event, the Zoom details, and the sign-up sheet and everything. So I'm going to hand it over to my secretary, Mia, now, who's going to tell you a little bit more about our recruitment of first-year representatives.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Mia. I am the Secretary for Psychology Society. We are currently looking for a first-year representative. Being a first-year representative is a great way to be involved with the Psychology Society, a great role to add to your CV, and a great way to meet new friends, meet new people and network. You can also check out our Facebook page or sign up for membership in our USA page to see the position in our, and I'll send out another newsletter which you can click on to sign up as well. I have sent in the chat box our USA page and our Facebook link as well. I would like to now hand it off to Daria from Site Pals.
Hi everybody. I hope you all can see me and hear me. My name is Daria. I am a Psych Pals leader, and I'm here to tell you about Psych Pals and who we are and what we do. However, I understand that there's so much information you get today and this week in general that chances are that you won't remember much. So I'm just going to do it this way. Probably throughout the first year, sooner or later you will feel, every single one of you will feel a bit lost and, you know, a bit lonely, a bit lost, not sure about your academic assessments and life in general. So when you feel that, when you feel like you don't know where to start your essay, how to start thinking about your essay, how to get ready for your lecture or your lab or your tutorial, or how to do the readings or where to find the right readings, we are here to help. So Psych Pals is a group of students from years above, so second, third, and fourth years that are here to help you basically with your academic assessments. We will have a Learn page, so it's an online page where you can all gather together and discuss assessments and lectures and psychology topics in general. And we will also provide you with study skill tips and assessment tips as well. You will get the information soon, I think via email. Just in case, I'm going to share a Facebook link as well. You can add us on Facebook, just sign up for our page and follow the information there. We're going to share some very soon. So yeah, if you feel lost, if you don't know where to start your assessments, or you want to find somebody to discuss academic stuff, please come to Psych Pals, come to our Facebook page, and our online page will be available soon. And that's pretty much it for me. I will probably pass to someone else. I'm not sure who's supposed to talk after me.
It's Maya from the Psychology magazine next.
Yeah, Maya.
I'm here. Can you hear me and see me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. My name is Maya. I'm a second-year psychology student, and I'm one of the editors-in-chief of the Edinburgh University Psychology magazine. It is a student-led psychology journal where students can publish their own articles. It used to be called Think in capital letters and with a full stop at the end. And you can find some previous issues on their Facebook page. It also used to be printed and available in different places on campus. But this year we decided to move the paper online and change its form slightly. So we will have a website where we will be publishing both a journal coming out less frequently and with one theme per issue. And we will also have a blog section where you can post kind of shorter articles on any topic connected to psychology that you find interesting. And if this is something, if our magazine is something you would be interested in, we would love to have you join our team. We're only just starting, but we're already looking for designers and writers, and also slowly looking for editors. So if you'd be interested in joining us, please send us an email. Our address is edupsychmag@gmail.com. I will also write it in the chat. And thank you for your attention, and hopefully we'll speak soon. Thank you, everyone. Who should I?
Coming back now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So hello again. We thought it would be fun just to end with a little bit of getting to know each other. I know there's a lot of information, so hopefully you can enjoy this even though you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. But we're going to try to put you into some great breakout rooms and let you go over 5 different riddles that we have accumulated. All of these riddles are riddles because of a cognitive bias. So if you figure them all out, you can start talking about why they're difficult. But we're going to split you all up into some breakout rooms now so you can get to know each other a little bit. Hopefully that'll be fun. I'm just going to have to start it. So you just have to give me a moment. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to start that now. Wait. Before I do that, very sorry. This is also new to me. If you could all please go into this document, you'll find the riddles, which you're going to be doing. So please access that, and I'll put you into the rooms.
Do you think he's in the main room?
Yeah, I'm trying to get you guys in there, but it's because people keep moving out of the room. So every time I'm like at the main room and I'm trying to scroll down, it like changes.
Okay, so you're trying to add us to other rooms, are you?
Yeah, I'm trying, but it's just going a little bit slow.
Okay. I love the way that everything's in German because you're doing it. That's very odd.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Is it?
It's Gruppe 1.
It's in Danish though, but that doesn't make it any better.
It's all right. I think we can work out what Gruppe means.
Yeah, no, I had actually like thought about like why it was in Danish for me because it's just quite annoying. I didn't know it's also in Danish for you guys. Very sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
It keeps moving. Let me just see. Okay, there are people here. Oh, there's a group of 3 people.
Chuck me into the group of 3 if you can.
Okay, I'll try. Keeps moving. Stop moving.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if students have worked out they can actually talk to each other yet.
I hope so. I mean, we did a session earlier today kind of with the same thing where we just threw them into breakout rooms and tried to make them talk. It worked out okay.
I don't think we can tell if they've turned their mics on. How can we?
Right, can they actually, I wonder if they can talk. Like, turn their mics on in the room. I hope they can.
You want me to join a room so I can see?
I mean, if you can do it by yourself, that would be really great because I'm trying to make people
Okay, I'll join a room and then I'll come back.
Great.
Oh, yeah, can we stop the recording, someone?
Right.